Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, this is Riftgal. We are playing some Lufia 2 Ancient Cave. We're gonna do something a little different this time. I'm gonna go with Artie, Tia, and Dakar as our party. Let's get... the order right there, and for our capsule monster, we are going to go with Sully. If you are not familiar with the Ancient Cave, or with Lufia 2, this is a Super Nintendo RPG. The Ancient Cave is a feature within it that is a randomly generated 100-floor dungeon with a boss at the bottom. Our goal is going to be to beat said boss. Now, because of the party we're using, we are going to be using a little bit safer strats. We are a little bit squishier than normal because we're using Tia instead of Guy. It is a lot more magically heavy party, so it really requires some good luck in terms of getting spells. The reason we're choosing Tia is because she is fast. She's the second fastest character in the game, and also is very magically potent, and is also a non-standard character, which makes it a little more interesting. I'd mostly been bashing Tia, and then I saw her actually get used in a Ancient Cave tournament a couple times, and I was like, oh, maybe this is a thing. Yeah, we'll get out of there. That is not the kind of spell we're looking for. So yeah, basically our goal here is going to be to get down to the bottom of or get enough levels and items to survive to the bottom of the tower. When we get to the boss, we're going to have 3 rounds to kill him. So we have to have a certain set of items that will allow us to just do as much damage as possible in as short a time as possible. Normally you don't fight every single monster. Like I said, we have a little bit squishier front line. Usually we would use Guy, who is a heavier character. But Tia, Maxim can serve a similar role as long as he gets the good equipment. We'll see if this actually works. Yep. So yeah, Dakar is our main frontliner. We definitely need him to get, if we happen to get a Dakar blade, which is, you know, his namesake weapon. There's a few other weapons that he can use that nobody else can, and he is also just the best tank by far. Rally is a good start. Maxim is very much a jack-of-all-trades character. We're going to be using him more as a physical beat stick this game, hopefully, if we find good stuff, and probably for healing out of battle. Tia is going to be our primary healer. As long as she's going relatively early, then we should be good. If we find agility increasing equipment, we'll probably look at alternating between Tia and Artie, depending on the situation. For most battles, we'll want to be boosting Tia's agility, because she's not quite as fast as Artie naturally. But against enemies that we're trying to run away from, very threatening enemies, we're going to be using... we're going to want to switch that gear over to Artie. So the way this dungeon works is there are, like I said, 99 floors, and then the boss. As we progress, the enemies get more difficult. Each enemy has a range where it will spawn. That was a very bad misclick on my part there. And I got lucky I didn't get surprise attack on me. I haven't played in a little while. I'm a little rusty. Good job, Sully. Okay, that's unnecessary at this point. So, our goal in each floor is going to be to find the stairs after opening a certain number of treasure chests. We want to find as many treasure chests as we can. We want to make sure that we've got some decent equipment. And as we go further, we're also going to get more equipment options available. Just as a quick note, you can also likely see that there's a little bit of stagger to the positioning of the enemies. Some of them are a little bit further forward. That actually does matter. We do significantly less damage to enemies in the back row. So, we will try to attack those enemies, attack the enemies in the front row first, so that they do, so that they take more damage. Once the front row is eliminated, the back row takes full damage again. Really need a weapon for Tia or Artie here. Actually, I wonder if Artie can use the Insect Crush. One thing I hadn't mentioned yet, so Sully, the little radish-looking dude, is a capsule monster. There are 7 capsule monsters in the game. They're kind of Pokemon-ish things. They're a 5th party member that kind of you don't get to control them, you don't get to choose their actions, but they will still contribute to the fight. Sometimes. Sully we're choosing because he is kind of the slow and steady character. He's going to help fill in since we don't have a second big heavy tank. He also is going to get a couple instant death moves as we go, and is just kind of really sturdy, which is nice. He has a lot of hit points and a good defense system. In this game, the random encounters are not completely random. As you can see, there's stuff on our enemies moving around on the map. So as we go, we are going to run into more of So as we go, we're going to run into enemies, and we're going to be able to potentially either get in behind them or avoid them as we need. Fake is interesting. So a large part of this game is actually efficient movement, so that you don't end up getting attacked by enemies, and figuring out how to get behind them to get that extra damage output. or better yet, in a lot of cases, getting in behind them so that you can run away before they can act. Antidotes are good to get, just in case. That's really unfortunate. I got really excited for a second because there's not a lot of armor in the later floors of the dungeon in a lot of cases. And that was not actually a wearable piece of armor. Haven't gotten a weapon for Tia yet, which is really unfortunate, but we've got plenty of time. Bunch of crap spells. So yeah, the Iris equipment is not actually usable. They're collectible items. There's, I think, 10 of them. And they're only found in the Ancient Cave, and they do nothing. Like, literally, even if you go through and take the time to collect them all, you get, like, a little pat on the back, and that's it. Once again, very careful positioning to try and get in before the enemy, get in from the side so that they don't have that chance to attack. That's what we were trying not to do. These enemies are getting into the slightly more dangerous category. One of the main problems that we have right now is when you level up, you don't actually get more hit points. So we're still at the hit point total that we started at for most of our characters, minus damage they've taken. Which we are going to go ahead and have Tia heal with Rally, but it's very expensive for the healing we're getting out of it. Rally is actually a resurrect-based spell, so it's meant to be used to revive people who have died. It also regenerates hit points, so we can use it that way, but it's not very efficient. It only heals 100. I'll also just say, it looks like Dakar has very, very low hit points. Part of that's because he has so many as a high end. He's probably actually about the same right now as, yeah, he's at 56, Maxim's at 57, and you can see that gap where it looks like Dakar's almost dead and Maxim's almost maxed out. This is unfortunate. I thought they'd hit a little bit harder than that. And I forgot how tough those Mega Moths are. There we go. Sully's got my back. That's good. Regain is another revive. Long staff is usable by Tia and Artie, I believe. I've got a knife that she can use. Yeah, we'll go with that. She does not have any other options. She can't use the short sword. That's a mimic down there in the bottom right corner. You can see the coloration is slightly different. We are going nowhere near that thing. It's not as bad as blue mimics, but they're scary. So just to be clear there, Tia just did more damage than Maxim, and she's in the back row. That staff was a great pickup. We're not going to go or bother going past that mimic. Let's have Maxim rally real quick. Just to get everybody up a little bit more on hit points. Gladius. Okay. Trick is actually really good. That's a decent spell we can use towards the in the end game as well. So as we're getting a little deeper into the cave, the first things we're going to be looking for in these treasure chests are the deadly weapons. Deadly sword, deadly rod are available starting at basement floor 5. Which I believe we're at. I haven't been paying a ton of attention yet as far as floor numbers go. Should be able to finish this guy off before he actually gets to go. We are also way ahead on experience for where I would normally need to be, or be trying to be. Which is fine. Okay, yeah, we're on 9. I don't know why I wasn't thinking how deep we were. So, yeah, we're not going to have any other major things we're looking for until floor 11. The way items work in this, they will, the pool keeps expanding. So, the stuff you can find at low levels, you can always find as far as items go. Enemies have a range. They'll only show up for, 3 or 4 floors each. We're going to focus down the poison beetles here. Status effects, especially poison, are serious business because if you don't have a good way to get rid of them, you can get stuck. It's one of the reasons that there's a lot of enemies, little insect-looking enemies that I was avoiding, is because they have a chance to poison you. Apron's usually not a good item, but but we've got Tia, so it actually could be. When we get down to floor 11, we're going to be able to start getting red cores, which are the first core enemy. Cores are kind of like metal slimes in this game. They're the very high evasion enemies that give tons of experience. That's another Tia weapon. Let's see if it's better than the... it is better than the long staff. Nice. Means we can bump Artie up. Means we can bump Maxim up. And the car's still good. Okay, we don't really want to fight that. So yeah, the reason the cores are important is because they give a big XP boost, and for very little work. So we definitely want to find them when we get to the floors that they're on. Those lizard enemies that I just walked by are poison-based, so are the beetles, so we're skipping them. Once again, focusing down the front row first, making sure to double tap with the faster characters so that we can actually get a kill instead of spreading out the damage. Curse Lifter is an amazing pickup. There are several items that we are going to want to use potentially that are in fact cursed. Curse Lifter lets us unequip those items because we may want to use them during the dungeon, but not at the boss. Also, oops, there we go. Bronze Axe. Also, some of the cursed items actually change their properties after you uncurse them, and they become better for what we're trying to do with them at that point. Dragon, our first offensive spell. That's nice. We're going to be thorough here as far as looking for enemies and treasure chests, because this is the point where we're going to start getting those cores potentially. There's one right there. We want to use magic against them. Unfortunately, the only spell we've got is Dragon, which is expensive, but any spell would work here. And 2,000 experience. Everyone gets a level or two. So So the recommended level for this point is by the end of the red core section, you want to be level 9. And we're level 11. So that's good. And theoretically, we should be able to actually get a few more levels even if we find any more cores. I'm assuming Artie can't use that equipment. Yeah. So one of the reasons that we're switching Tia is actually to give us more access to different equipment. One of the downsides of the normal party that you use for this type of run is that they're all male characters, which means you can't actually use the special female-only equipment. Huh. That was a mistake. Well, we'll see if we can actually beat some of them down here. Okay. Should have been 1 level for everybody? 2 levels for everybody. Nice. So before we actually fight more cores, I want to use high magic. Or some sort of magic potion to restore MP. Can't remember if the frock is better than the coat or not. So yeah, like I was saying, there's a lot of equipment that's only equippable by female characters, and Tia can use them. Lots of frocks. Nice. Got another kill. We are cruising for experience right now. Equipment-wise, we're not doing very well, though. Our treasure drops have been terrible. Like, the fact that we don't have a cheap offensive spell is really annoying, because it means we're dipping into our healing pool when we fight cores. The fact that we don't have a cheap healing spell is annoying because it means we're using a lot of MP that we could be using for attacking magic. It's kind of a balance there, but basically, MP is an extremely limited resource. Actually, HP is too, in this case. Ideally, we'll get some way to regenerate MP over time, either with an IP effect or a spell like Absorb. but that does not happen in most runs. Since I didn't mention it before, IP are Ikari points. I've used like one effect so far, I think. They're basically special attacks that you can use with items. So, for example, the Bronze Axe has Bomb Attack, which is attack all enemies. Some of them have healing effects or effects that restore MP, and those are the ones that are going to be especially valuable, especially given the fact that we don't have any cheap spells right now. The only attack spell we've got is Dragon, and the only healing spell we've got is Rally. Okay, we definitely want to avoid that little white ball there. Those are Wispies. They're fast enemies with a strong area of effect spell. If we get a big group of them, like 3 or 4, they may just use lightning multiple times and just fry us completely. Oops. I figured 2 of them could take one of these guys out. Apparently I was wrong. And you can see right there, the downside to Tia. She just lost half her hit points in one shot. We do not want to fight these, and I might actually be in trouble. Got lucky, none of them did lightning. Okay. Should probably use some healing items here. Everybody up to at least around 70 hit points there. Ugh. That's not good. Yeah, we are really lacking on the defensive items and defense in general right now. So this is kind of a squishy party to start with. It's very fast and very high magic. And we've gotten crap for magic and no good armor items, so yeah, we're just gonna walk away here. Okay. We do have one more item that's been added to the pool at this point. The Dakar Blade, which is a weapon only Dakar can use, and it has the special effect that it can reduce an enemy's hit points in half. There's a chance we can find it. It is fairly unlikely. But if we find it, that's one of the things that'll actually help beat the boss. You have to do like 10,000 damage, and it does 5,000 instant. Okay. I forgot to. So we're gonna do that real quick. There we go. So we actually don't mind fighting these little orc-looking enemies. As long as we can get as long as we have a chance to get in first. At the starting of this level, there's a chance that these are an enemy called fighter orcs, which actually have a drop that we are okay with getting. As far as items go, it's called a power gourd, and it's a one-use item that just boosts strength for that one fight. It's not super useful during the dungeon, but they're very good during the boss, potentially. Since your goal is often to buff one guy up. Miracle's really nice. The fact that we've just gotten our first miracle at this point in the dungeon is actually kind of scary. Usually you get several of them as you go, and we have not. Like I said, we're not having a lot of item luck. It wouldn't take much to suddenly start getting some item luck. A deadly weapon, some blue chest items would be enough to push it over the edge. Really absorb strong. Absorb and Strong are the two main spells that would be really nice to get. Also, just something simple like Spark for fighting the cores. Okay, those are a winger enemy. They are kind of scary. They have a chance to take 2 actions. Pumpkinheads actually have a chance to drop an item called a pumpkin rock, pumpkin gem, something like that. Should have spread those out more. That's okay. Nice. Okay. Should still be able to finish it off before he attacks. And we got a power gourd. Nice. Okay, our first golem enemies. Golem enemies in this game are terrible to fight. The ones towards the end, our gold golems are absolutely awful. They're among the worst enemies to fight in the game. The other enemies, other golem enemies aren't as bad offensively, but there are a lot of them that can take 2 actions in a turn. Okay, we are up to floor 21. If you see me, if my movement seems choppy, part of that is because instead of holding the movement button down, I'm tapping it. And the main reason that I do that is because I want to make sure that if these enemies move in an unpredictable way, this sucks. Basically, if the enemies move unpredictably, I want to have enough. It adds a little bit extra reflex time to stop. Okay, we're just gonna run away. We don't want to fight those. I don't think we want to fight that either. Or that. So it's kind of neat, as we go down here, we do get this shift from the worked stone to this... Oh, these guys are fast, apparently. So yeah, we get some shifts in the that's not good. We see some shifts in the terrain from this worked like building dungeon to this one is more of like a traditional dungeon, and then later we'll get to the cave. Unfortunately, there's only 3 different tile sets that they use, and the music switches accordingly. Trying to remember which enemies these ones are. Draconians. Yeah, I don't think we want to fight those. It's the blue ones like that we want to fight. These snakes... Crap, that was really bad. These snakes use an attack called Sandstorm. That's an area of effect spell that hits everybody, and we don't want to get hit by it, because it'll almost kill everybody. They're also really fast. And that's why I try and stagger instead of holding down a button normally. Looks like we're gonna have to fight this thing. Should be able to get in before them. Finish them off. Oh, thank God. Champion's an actual healing spell. Unfortunately, we don't have enough. Actually, let's go Spell Potion on Artie. That's still not enough. Life Potion on Tia real quick while we're at it. We finally got a real healing spell. It's not an efficient healing spell, but it's a good healing spell. These rooms are horrible. Just so we're clear. I'm just gonna hope I don't have to go in there. That's basically where I'm at with that room. Those little insectoid enemies like that are bees. They have a chance to use an attack that paralyzes the entire party. We don't want to fight them. It's pretty straightforward. And that room had a bunch of treasure chests, but there were also like 5 bees flying around. And bees are super, super erratic. It's really hard to predict what you're gonna actually get out of them. So those little Draconid enemies actually move opposite you. So you saw me walking into the wall there. That was to get that guy out of our way. That was a bad mistake. Hey, there's our cheap spell we wanted for killing cores. Probably gonna be feeding Sully soon. Is that an actual blue chest item? Or is that a mimic? Okay. Blue mimics are coming up on a floor pretty soon here, so I was just kind of being a little paranoid there. And you know what? This seems like as good a time as any. We're gonna quick feed Sully. So close. There we go. So you feed capsule monsters items to evolve them to the next form. In this case, his next form is this little dwarf guy, the red cap. And this form is where he gets really good because Perish Punch is basically he has a special attack that can one-shot enemies. Okay. You know what? I think we're gonna get to the stairs and call this video good. We're getting to the point where oh my god. Seems like a good, just after feeding Silly and stuff, seems like a good breaking point. We're finally starting to actually get some decent stuff. We finally got our first blue chest, and yeah, seems like a good place to take a break. Come back renewed and rested. So hopefully you are enjoying this. If you are, please give me a like and subscribe. Check out the other content on my channel. If you have any questions or suggestions, please leave them in the comments. And as always, have a good one.